Good evening, everyone. So this week, we are going to see 17th and 18th centuries art in Europe. So after the Renaissance, there were two major art movements, and one is the Baroque, and the other one is the Rococo. So the period of 17th and 18th centuries in Europe is called the Age of Kings. Some of the most powerful rulers in history occupied the thrones of various countries during this time. And this same period could equally be called the Age of Colonial Settlement. The Spanish, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, the French had established permanent settlements in North and South America. So the Baroque art was an art movement during turbulent 17th and 18th centuries. The Baroque art differs from that of the Renaissance. And the Baroque art is full of emotion, energy, and movement. And colors are more vivid in Baroque art than in Renaissance art, with greater contrast between colors and between light and dark. Baroque art has been called dynamic, sometimes even theatrical. In architecture and sculpture, where the Renaissance sought a classic simplicity, the Baroque favored ornamentation as rich and complex as possible. So let's compare the Renaissance and the Baroque art styles. And we're going to see the architecture styles first. So the left one is the Renaissance one, and the right one is the Baroque one. So can you find the differences between these two styles?
One looks more modern.
Very good. And the other one is?
Um, uh, one have a vanishing point, right?
I love it. Yes. Very good approach. Yes. Yes, because the Renaissance artists love the perspective. Yes.
Different perspectives.
But the Baroque artists, they don't care, actually. And what else? Any other opinions?
What has
One
more
looks
color?
more
Uh-huh.
ancient.
Color.
Baroque just look more ancient to me.
Ancient. Yes. Yes, it can be. So the Renaissance architecture style shows simple, logical, and classical. That's right. You got the point. And on the other hand, the Baroque architecture shows ornamentational and sophisticated. Now let's look at sculptures. So the left one is Michelangelo's David statue in the Renaissance era. And the right one is Gian Lorenzo Bernini's Saint Teresa in the Baroque era. So of course, these two sculptures are amazingly beautiful and reach the highest technique in fine art. But the first feeling for these two sculptures are totally different. Can you find the differences between these two sculptures?
The Renaissance one show more like body,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the Baroque one has more clothing on it.
Yes. Yes.
And the Baroque one looks like it's telling a story.
Oh, yes, exactly. That's right. Yes. Yes. Very good. What else?
Um, The Renaissance one look like it's just showing dominance.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Uh, that's it.
Yeah, very good. Very nice. Who else?
I don't know. I feel like they worked more on the Baroque one than the Renaissance.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. So the David shows the Michelangelo's David shows the beauty of balance. Very logical, looks like very logical, and it shows the ideal of beauty. And it is very bright. Absolutely, it is very bright to celebrate the hero. And on the other hand, the Baroque sculpture of Saint Teresa is dramatic, even theatrical. Yeah, maybe, it shows like, telling the story. And it shows heavy light contrast by locating the sculpture in the darkest spot and using window light from the top of the roof. That is the one of the feature of the Baroque art. They, calculate the light to show that shadow. And let's see the painting. And the left one is Raphael's The School of Athens in the Renaissance era. And the right one is Peter Paul Rubens' The Raising of the Cross in the Baroque era. Can you see the differences?
Yes. The Baroque one that has like I forgot what you said about the lines, like
Yes, the diagonal line.
yeah, the lines
Yeah,
and
it
the
shows big movement, right?
The Renaissance one, um, it's also telling a story, but it has it's like a perspective painting.
Yes, yes, perfect. Yes. Which means it has balance, very
Mhm.
stable. Yes, very good. What else? How about the light?
Oh yes, the lighting.
Lighting is
Um,
definitely different, right?
yeah, the Baroque look like it's the light is shining like down from them,
That's right.
down onto them,
Mm-hmm.
and the Renaissance is filled with light.
That's right. So the Raphael's painting is basically following the perspective, which means, again, it is very balanced and it is calm, peaceful, bright, and logical. On the other hand, Rubens' painting is focused on the subject, not really follow the perspective rule. And it shows deep contrast with the bright highlight and very dark shadow. And also the movement is dynamic. And the whole painting mood is very emotional. So to conclusion, the Renaissance art shows stillness, logicality, peace and calm, classicism, and brightness. And the Baroque art shows motion, emotion, turbulence, grandeur, and contrast. So now we are going to see two Baroque artists. So the first Baroque artist is Caravaggio. Caravaggio was an Italian painter. His paintings combine a realistic observation of the human state, both physical and emotional, with the dramatic use of lighting. He's an amazing artist. He's super realistic. You're gonna love it. You're gonna freak out. Like this. So he picked the painful moment when Jesus Christ got the crown. He's the one of the most famous Baroque artists. Look at the beautiful light and the beautiful skin texture. It looks like real, right? And he's just an amazing artist. And except for the technique part, the painting's emotion is also realistic. So it feels like we are in the middle of the painful moment. And this painting is about Saint Thomas checking Jesus' wand with a surprised, profound face. Look at that details. It looks like real. And this is Caravaggio's another biblical episode painting. Judith saved her people by seducing and beheading the Assyrian general Holofernes. And the same topic was depicted in the Renaissance era, which is the left one, a left painting. And Judith in the left painting looks very peaceful and calm. And it is hard to believe she is after the battle. She looks even elegant because that painting is made in Renaissance era. And on the other hand, Caravaggio's painting is dramatic and dynamic with detailed description. It is capturing the moment of the event. And this is David with the head of Goliath by Caravaggio. And this same theme made by different era by Michelangelo. So even though Michelangelo and Caravaggio depicted the same David in their work of art, their Davids look totally different. So Michelangelo's David is made as a hero, and he has an idealized body because he's a hero. On the other hand, the Caravaggio's David doesn't have an ideal body, so just depicted as a normal human. And also, Caravaggio shows the moment David took the Goliath's head with unpleasant feeling. He just focused on the event. And the next artist is Rembrandt. Rembrandt was a Dutch draftsman, painter, and printmaker, and he is generally considered one of the greatest visual artists in the history of art and the most important in Dutch art history. So this Rembrandt's largest and the most famous painting was made for one of three headquarters of Amsterdam's Civic Guard. And these groups of civilian soldiers defended the city from attack. And Rembrandt was the first to paint all of the figures in a civic guard in action. And he has an excellent technique to capture a moment in his painting like this, while the sea in a storm. And he was very famous with his self-portrait style, and he settled the traditional portrait manner in terms of pose, light, and mood. And many of artists followed this portrait painting style. And there is a video about Rembrandt in the model room, so please watch it to see diverse his beautiful work of art. And the next art movement we are going to see is the Rococo. The age of Rococo is a development and extension of the Baroque style, and the term Rococo was a play on the word Baroque, but also it refers to the French word for rocks and shells, forms that appeared as decorative motif in architecture, in furniture, and in painting. So the Rococo subjects and moods of art is slightly different from the Baroque, even though it is an extension of the Baroque art. And like Baroque, Rococo is an extravagant, ornate style, but there are several points of contrast. Baroque was an art of cathedral and palaces. On the other hand, Rococo was more intimate and suitable for the aristocratic home and the drawing room. And Baroque is large in scale, massive, dramatic, and Rococo has a smaller scale and a light-hearted, playful quality. So let's see the examples. So the left one is Baroque style architecture and the right one is the Rococo style architecture. So these are all complicated, but somehow we can find the differences. What's the difference between these two styles?
One is perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I just never gave him my phone. I was just ran out the door.
One the hallway is like further back and the other one is closer.
Yeah, but that's the photo. How about the mood and color?
The left
Yeah,
one,
one has like more of a bright color to it.
That's right.
The Rocco has more of a bright color to it.
That's right.
The Baroque has like a dark,
Mhm.
darkish.
That's right. So the Baroque style is dark
Yeah.
and grandeur. However, the Rococo style is bright, feminine, and sophisticated. That's the difference.
Oh my god.
And let's see the painting. The left one is the Baroque style painting, and the right one is Rococo style painting. So the two paintings are well using deep contrast lighting, but seems very different. What's the difference?
One is definitely darker than the other one.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. The themes are different. One on the left has like a more of a death, murder type of theme. And
Yeah,
the one on the right has like a joyful theme.
perfect. You get the point. So you said the theme and the Baroque's theme is a little bit more serious, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's right. So most of Baroque art describe the biblical episodes. So that's why very heavy, dark, and serious. However, Rococo's painting depicts daily life and nature of novels. So it shows light and bright and it's very lovely. That's the difference. There is a video about lovely Rococo art in the model room, so please watch it for your understanding. So I hope you understand the differences of art styles by the art eras through this chapter. And we have a discussion today. Let's go to the model room. So this is today's discussion.